Are we on? What's popping, y'all? This is BMOC. You're now tuned into BMOC.TV. Hope you guys had a great week. Shout out to everybody who watched the Battle Rap episode but didn't leave a comment. Shout out to all of you. So shout out for watching it and not leaving a comment, okay? That hopefully, instead of commenting, you were doing your research on Hollow the Don and Loaded Lux and Murder Mook and all that stuff. We'll be back with a topic that you can kind of join in and talk about, okay? So tonight is going to be Eminem. It's the top 5. There are all these different categories and lists about Eminem and is he top 5? Is he not? Why and why not? So I want to get into that tonight. We have a dope show lined up for y'all. So I want to shout out the best co-host in the entire planet, okay? Just shout out, send something to the people to shout out what's up.
What's going on, world? 916, straight out of South Sacramento. About to talk about Eminem, a.k.a. Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about where everyone thinks he ranks. I have my own personal opinion. I don't want to take no slack, so I won't say it right now. But, you know, shout out to the one and only, you know, Donita. You know, she ain't here right now with us, you know, to make the show. So, you know, got to hold her down as usual. Let's get it.
Donita, we're going to hold you down. I promise. I got your hat. It's in the mail, okay? You should get it around 2018, something like that. Something like low-key, 18, low-key. Drew, send up to the people. Drew, what's popping?
What up, world? Happy kickoff Sunday for all my football fans out there. It's like a national holiday. And also, salute to everybody, all the players who stood, you know, actually didn't stand, who took a knee today or showed some sort of protest. No, but seriously, Marcus Peters, Brandon Marshall, who am I forgetting? Martellus Bennett, everybody who had the fist up today. It's important, man. I think people are focusing on the action and not what people are upset about. So, salute to all those players. And I'm disappointed to see also y'all kind of let everybody down. We thought y'all was going to hold it down, but y'all are the Seahawks, so y'all was going to do something lame. So,
and if y'all notice, all of us here on this panel are sitting down today. Just to what we do. Movement.
I respect. Shout out to Dipset.
Why would we be standing up? But I feel you. It works. It works. You know what I'm saying? It works. Slizzy, say something to the people. Slizzy, what's up?
Yo, what up, man? It's your boy Slizzy in the building. Thank y'all for having me again. The Battle Rap episode was dope last week. I had people hit me up about it. Trying to tell you every Tuesday night and Thursday night. DJ Radio, let's get it.
Yeah, I really check out the show. I really enjoyed the Battle Rap episode. I'm surprised people didn't comment. Okay, like probably our favorite episode.
Why did you comment?
Well, see, Battle Rap's a very like niche market of like hip hop. It's a very niche category. So people like, you know what to say. I want to sound stupid, but I mean, you probably will, but still comment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That doesn't stop. Trust me, that doesn't stop people from commenting.
We would gladly educate you on it.
Yeah, this is how. Trust me, commenting doesn't stop people. It doesn't stop people from sounding stupid at all. I see it every day, all the time. Tyler, say something to the people. Tyler, what's up?
What's going on, everybody? What's up? Back again. 5 for 5, 4 for 4. What? It doesn't matter. Detroit what? Detroit what?
Yeah. Detroit Mark had that same hat on, man. That same hat on. Remember we was going to the DMV before? I think he had the hat on the episode. Check it out, man. Check it out. Hey, if I'm wrong, people, I'm on the video. If I'm wrong. That was a catcher. And last but not least, we got a beautiful guest here tonight. You know what I'm saying? The ladies love the hip hop. We love the ladies. Brittany, listen to the people. Brittany, what's poppin'? What's up?
Hi, what's up? I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
She knows her hip hop. She's as in her comments. I feel we had to bring a woman on here to represent, to show her knowledge, to show her love. So we don't get two men. You know, when we get testosterone, we get a little crazy. We're gonna balance us out, okay?
Just a little bit. So
let's get into Eminem, man.
Pause.
Eminem has always been kind of like.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, can y'all relax, guys, please? Okay. Women before. But no. So shout out to Eminem. So Eminem has always been one of those controversial figures because it's always been this conversation of is Eminem top 5 because of the branding, his race, or is it because he was nice? You know, the first time I heard Eminem, I want to say was the Slim Shady song,
My name is.
No, my name is. There you go. My name is. There you go, Drew. My name is, and I thought it was kind of like a corny rapper. Like, okay, this is ha funny, but I'm like, okay, this is like a one-hit wonder type of guy, whatever. But then I heard The Way I Am, and woo, like, oh my God. I was like, this is the same dude? So I went back, and I'm like, oh, he was being funny, but he was being lyrical. And so, like, I think I went into Kazaa or Napster at that time. This is before I was in the industry, so that was a long time ago, people. I paid for my music. And I looked up Eminem, and then Infinite came on. His Infinite, the EP had up before, and I was just blown away. And then I actually bought the Slim Shady LP. Then the Marshall Mathers LP came out, and I was more blown away. Like the lyricism and the double entendres and the double syllable flow, and how he was like rhyming every other word and would come back. The rhyming pattern was crazy. Like, one of the craziest things I ever heard. So I was like, man, this dude is nice. Like, I am an Eminem fan. And then once he started getting more fame, you heard, well, is he because he has a gimmick? Is he because he's white? Is it because Dr. Dre's backing him and all these different things? But they weren't talking about, to me, the lyricism part. Because Eminem would have these little like dopey songs, and I'm a cartoon, and da-da-da-da-da. But then you have the songs where like, I hate my mom, I love my daughter. I hate my mom, I want to kill Kim, I love my daughter. So you was kind of confused, like, just when you thought you figured him out, he would switch it up and then talk about like he was a kid. They say he had a disease, but he didn't, and his dad left, his mom was popping pills, and he's killing his girlfriend, he had a daughter. So it was just all these different things. So I always felt, to me, like he is lyrically top 5, even though sometimes his content may not necessarily connect with what we're used to with the bigger rappers being all grand mafioso, drug dealer or gangster or conscious rapper. Eminem always fits his own little category. So I want to first go around the room and just see when you first heard Eminem, and is he in your personal top 5? So I'm going to start off with Deshaunus. Give me your thoughts on it again when you first heard Eminem, and is he in your top 5?
Man, a similar experience, because my older cousins were listening to the Slim Shady LP, and I was like, but they were going berserk though. They was like, man, this dude is better than everybody. Like, you hear the rhyme patterns, and I was just like, I mean, I guess, and so it just kind of goes over your head when you first listen to it. And so that was it. But man, Eminem, I've said this on here before, he brought me out of the dark ages. You know, Eminem will always have a special place in my top 5, top 3, whatever. He honestly, for quite some time, was my favorite rapper in general, before even, you know, Jay-Z entered that conversation, because I grew up on the coast. So, you know, I just had a lot of coast music. DJ Quick, E40, Snoop, Pac, you know, and Dr. Dre was my favorite artist because of the music he produced, well before I knew he wasn't really behind the pen. And so, hey, I'm just saying, you grew up at a young age, you know, hey, Dr. Dre and Santa Claus.
He's allergic to pins, so starts sneezing, like, I can't.
So as good as the Marshall Mathers LP, man, the Eminem show is around the time where, like, I would be in my room playing Madden, listening to the Eminem show, and I was like, man, this is insane. Like, nobody is better at him doing this, man. So that took it to another level for me, and that's when I started to go back and like, okay, let me see what more all these guys. Okay, they talking about Nas, they talking about 3 Stacks J. Let me see, are they even comparable? Because what this dude is doing, if this is what they call lyricism, I need to hear more of it. So Eminem is my dude. Of course, he's top 5, 3. And the thing about it is, like, personally, we go through changes, you know, and I've seen, you know, just, you know, BMOC knows, since we've been on this show, you look at the first few episodes, we feel differently about some topics now, a year later, than we did back then. Yeah, you know, and so his music doesn't always sit as easy and isn't as easily digestible as it was in the moment, because the content, as you get older, is a little like, but man, those moments are special. Eminem Show is one of the best albums I've ever heard. Marshall Mathers is classic. So I think, unbiasedly looking at his content, his production, his achievements, and his skill, he can arguably be 1 to 3 or 4, wherever up there. Like, it's any argument that can be made.
Okay, I feel you. Drew, tell me, when you first heard Eminem, and is he in your top 5? What's up?
Yeah, first time I seen him was on TRL. My Name Is came on.
Yep.
And I remember me and my brother, we had the same kind of thought, like, what is this about? But even in the same, it didn't even take later, like in the same video, soon as Dre came forward, he had the glass on like he was at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Dre's in the video, so this is not a joke. Like, you know, so that, to me, and that shows you to what Dre means, you know, his instant stamp, you know, like, okay, this is for real. So then heard some Shady LP. It didn't take long for me to know M was great. And then even before Marshall Mathers LP, me and my friends were just crazy listening to Eminem. So then we started getting into like the underground stuff, and then you hear like you go back and hear Infinite.
Yeah.
You listen to like a lot of those underground jewels, like Scary Movies with Royce. You listen to that. You listen to Get You Mad. All those songs. The Sound Bombing.
Eminem on the Timberland beat. Tylenol Island. Check that out.
Yeah, Tylenol Island. That was crazy. Yeah. So M's in my top 3. I think he's the least appreciated rapper of all time to me, and that sounds kind of weird because his commercial success. But I mean, as far as to rap fans, I noticed this. Like I watched The Breakfast Club, and like Envy or somebody will bring up like, you know, how do you feel about the best rappers? They always say Nas, Jay, Big. They never ever say Eminem. And you can tell by the Eminem show, Eminem started getting a little annoyed with it because he started bringing it up more. And you listen to certain songs, like you listen to Till I Collapse. And you just tell he's starting to get really annoyed that he keeps getting left off the list. But you have it like you look at what we always use to break down what's a great MC. Classic albums, impact, lyricism, within being a lyricist, storytelling, battle raps. You can't name something M can't check the box on, and not only check the box on, but he's probably getting an A. You want to battle him? Good luck with that. You want social commentary? Listen to White America. You want somebody to have a diamond album? Go find somebody else with a diamond album that wasn't somebody who take it as a joke, like somebody like, no disrespect to Nelly or nothing, but like any of our other favorite.
He got breaks off, bro.
You know,
there's no Nelly slander tonight. Not tonight.
Oh my God.
And there's no, it's not, you know, not a knock to Pac or Big, but like it's not a posthumous platinum. I mean, Diamond. This is in the moment, in the flesh. Yeah. So you go down this list. Let me see who your favorite rapper stacks up. And I guarantee you, at some point, he's going to fall short, and Eminem's going to keep rocking. So, I was excited to do this episode because people need to start giving Eminem respect and not wait until he's not around anymore, or something happened, something corny, and everybody turns into the biggest Eminem fan. Now, respect this man in the flesh, because I guarantee your favorite rapper wants no problems.
Like a lot of these Prince fans out here. So I love Prince.
All these fake Prince fans came out the blue.
Stop. I know, right? Stop.
Prince is great.
Stop.
Prince is great. Come on now.
No, Prince is great. But a lot of people out here lying to kick it. They just listen to Prince. They won't listen to Prince before. They're lying to kick it.
And all they talk about is Purple Rain.
But
and something happened to him, they gonna start talking about like the Without Me or something. Nah, like go ahead and listen to that sound bombing stuff. Listen to the stuff on Ruckus. Like it was insane. Like on every level. Like bring your favorite rapper outside and see what happens.
If you put Prince in a meme with Janet Jackson, and yes, I'm a diehard Prince fan, you should win that every time. Let's not front. The meme, Janet Jackson, Michael, you know what I'm saying, the meme, and Whitney, and yes, Janet's going every time. I don't care what it is.
Every time. I agree.
Cool. All right, cool. So let's go. All right, cool. So I'm gonna get to Slizzy. So Slizzy, first time you heard Eminem, and is he in your personal top 5?
Drew stole my answer. With the Rockets, dude. He stole my answer.
Don't do that, Slizzy. Don't do it. Don't do that.
The first time I heard Eminem was the Lyricist Lounge tapes that Rockets used to have back in the days.
Yeah.
Those joints used to be crazy, and then I was like, I didn't know who he was, and my man was like, yo, this is White Cat. I'm sure he's nice. So I was like, all right, so I peeped him, whatever. So when I peeped him, I was listening, and I was like, this dude is insane with these bars, like, you know what I'm saying? So when I first heard him, it was that, and then when I heard My Name Is, it was kind of a big letdown for me because of what I heard previously. Yeah. Because maybe, I think it was the reverse. If I'd heard My Name Is first, then I would have heard the Rockets first, I probably would have felt a little different.
Yeah.
But You know what I'm saying? But is he in my top 5 personally? No. But that's not but that's just a preference thing. He's not necessarily if you skilled or anything like that. So that's definitely not the case. And I'm not about to sit here and just be all blasphemous like Eminem's trash and stuff like that. I'm definitely not about to do that. But it's just a preference thing for me. I have my reservations about it. Now, bar for bar, top 3, bar none. But as far as the total package, no, he's not my top 5.
And so, him not being your top 5, is that more based off of content? Yeah,
a little bit because. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you because you said the skills were dope. So I guess the only other thing would be the content. The actual the songs, actual song content.
Well, sometimes content, and I'm really picky on beat selection, and some of the beats wasn't hitting to me.
Okay, actually,
it's not about bars though. I want that to be clear. I want that to be clear today. It's not about bars.
No, listen to this.
I want that to be clear today. So somebody starts saying behind me. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be clear about that.
No, you're fine. As much praise as we're gonna give Eminem tonight, I would be lying if I said that I feel like Eminem has increased in terms of lyricism, but he decreased in terms of the song making. I would be lying if I said that I'm playing Marshall Mathers 2 like I'm playing Marshall Mathers the original. I would be lying if I said that. So if people say he's not based upon the content of the songs, then that's understandable to me. But when people say he is a top 5 because of lyricism, then I'm like, what are you
talking about?
That's why I asked that question. So,
like, what are you talking about?
So it's all good. Talib, when's the first time you heard Eminem, and is he in your top 5?
Yes, he's in my top 5. First time I heard him, I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
I was watching The Box. They had they were doing like a little video introduction or whatever. So like the first song they played was I Just Don't Give a F, right? So I'm like, what is this? This is different. So then right after that, My Name Is came out. I'm like, after that, I was so like those 2 songs alone, it was like 2 starkly different songs. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then after that, I just kept it pushing. I heard like the Sound Bombings, Lyricist Lounge, the Tunnel compilation, like that one song was crazy.
Oh yeah, the Tunnel compilations.
That was If I Get Locked Up.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
If I Get Locked Up tonight.
He's only doing Flex of Cat Joint, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you snapped on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Snapped on that thing.
Them too crazy.
His rhyming technique was always just amazing. It's amazing. It was like what Coochie Rap was doing, but like just more advanced. Like he pushed up what he was doing. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. So like yeah, stuff like that, and then you had like I found all the hidden freestyles from back in the day, like battles and certain songs he did like in UK and all that. I'm like, this dude is amazing. So I'm like 12, 13, like yo, wait, like this is my whole life. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah, and I remember when I went to Napster and the first song off of Infinite was Infinite. You heard the hell that I was sent to that. I'm witnessing Infinite instruments, and I'm trying to repent from it. But I licked the bird of the beat and looking at the like it was. I was like, what? I was like, oh, what's this going on? That was the hook. I was like, oh my God, what is he talking about?
Yo, are you serious?
Crazy.
And I kept rewinding. That's the thing. And I'm sorry, kids out here. Because I got old hair right now. But y'all want to rewind the songs nowadays. Back in the day, we rewinded the song because the rhyme was so amazing. All right. So I remember rewinding Infinite like 10 times and I still haven't caught it, as you can hear. I haven't caught it. But just to catch what he was saying was freaking amazing. I'm like, he said the same word twice? No, he said the same word, but he said it in different syllables. He said the same word.
When he said
he said the same word 3 different ways in 3 different contexts in the same 4 block. Oh my God.
Like on that song when he was like, one thought that my cerebral was deeper than a Jeep full of people.
Yeah.
Like, you never heard people like
Like, what in the world? Could you imagine if he had did a song with pun? Could you imagine what that would have
done? Man, crazy.
They were back in the days where they told me they was like it never got released. So
yeah, it was like some kind of song that got released. Yeah, it got released.
Back in the days.
Whoever had
that would have
been the most craziest wordplay battle ever.
Because Fat Joe, because M gave his demo to Fat Joe, and Fat Joe didn't sign him. You know, so we could blame Fat Joe because that never happened.
Joe.
Fat Joe.
That's true too. Yeah, that's a double-edged sword.
Fat Joe had a good reason, Fat Joe. Whatever you were with, I want no Terror Squad problems.
You don't like nobody but punting Remy. You gotta take that. You can't even bleed at it all. You don't like nobody but punting Remy.
I will play all the way up 10 times this episode tonight to make anything up. All right, you can say up. So talk to me about when you first heard Eminem, and is he in your personal top 5?
Okay, so he's in my personal top 5. The first time I heard Eminem, Slim Shady, TRL, similar experience to Drew.
Yeah.
I think that Eminem, let's talk about facts. He's got 5 #1 albums. He's got 13 Grammys. He's got 1 Oscar for original song and 8 Mile, Lose Yourself.
Yep.
Let's talk about Talking to Myself.
Yeah.
Let's talk about my name is comedic. He has a comedic sense to him, also introspective, where he can talk about cleaning out my closet. Sentimental, when he's talking about Haley's song, where he's like talking about his daughter. So he's got so many diversities to his flows that is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a rap artist that's so diverse. So that's why he's in my top 5.
Yeah, and I love that you said that, because a lot of times people will say Eminem is in top 5 because what does he talk about? And I'm like, what does he talk about? He's probably one of the most transparent rappers because
absolutely.
And listen, look, I love Jay and I love Nas and I love Big. I love these rappers, but I think sometimes if you can say either one bad thing about them is that they never were seen in a bad light. They never put themselves in a negative light. It was always like I was always a hustler. I was always shooting somebody. I was always that dude. Mm-hmm. I was always the man. Eminem was like, no, I used to get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to get bullied.
Right.
Like my mom said I was sick and would feed me medicine to get me hooked on drugs. Like my dad didn't love me. Like my girlfriend's cheating on me. Like I'm a bum. Like he would literally say these things. Like I'm a piece of ish. You know, like he related to those people. So I feel like people just see the corny, I hate Britney Spears song, and they don't see the other content, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Go ahead,
Brittany. I'm going to Drew. Go ahead, Brittany.
Oh, okay. So I was going to talk about the bullying part. I mean, the song Damaged, Brain Damaged, where he talked about his past and his relationship with a kid who was beating him up every day at school, and his mom and all of that. Yeah. And who later sued him for that song. So you think about how genuine Eminem is as an artist. Like he, just like you said, Walter, he's not talking about how he's the man. He's talking about, I've been through some stuff. And that's how you connect with your fan base. It's like everyone who listens to this song can connect in some way to what he's talking about. I mean, as kids, you know, white teenagers have anger towards their parents. I mean, that is something that they can identify with. And I'm just going to be honest. I mean, kids, he won 2 Teen Choice Awards. I mean, come on now, like he won 2 MTV Awards. So it's like people listening to his music in some way connected to what he was saying. And he stayed genuine. I mean, even after Rehab, even though that album After Rehab sucked, he still stayed genuine to who he was as an artist.
Which one?
It did suck.
Whoa, Recovery.
Wait, what was
it? Whoa.
Relapse and Recovery.
Go ahead.
Relapse is hard.
Recovery and Relapse.
Relapse is hard. Chill.
Wait, it sucked. I'm sorry. It sucked.
Wow. Well, the crazy thing about Recovery is
Unity is over.
I like Recovery. I like Recovery. I ain't like Relapse.
You know what's funny?
I didn't like Recovery at all.
The funny
I mean,
thing about
Recovery
is,
compared to the Eminem show? Come on now.
Yeah.
Sucked.
No,
I'm not saying that either. But nah.
Well, I hated Relapse with that Scottish accent.
Yeah.
What?
Recovery benefited heavily from the discipline of Relapse.
I'm going back to that. I hate that.
3 a.m. But the song 3 a.m. made up for that. Come on now.
Recovery definitely benefited from the disappointment of Relapse. Like, that's what it's compared to. Recovery comes out after the Eminem show. It's terrible. It comes out after Relapse. It's a good album.
Good. Right?
Exactly. But see, that's what we're comparing it to. You're comparing it to an album that was kind of not great. I mean, if you're comparing it to the Eminem show, it's terrible.
Well, that's the thing. After Eminem show was Encore. To me, that's Eminem's worst album was Encore.
Hands down.
Right. That was terrible.
So it was Encore, and then we got Relapse, and we got Recovery. This is the thing with Recovery is funny to me. So, because one thing people talk about Eminem is his production. Yeah. And Recovery by far was his best produced album. Like, not even. I mean, it's like miles apart. Yeah.
It wasn't him though. It was like Just Blaze.
Yeah, Just Blaze. Right. So, you know, the production on there was like Eminem's best of his career. It was kind of weird to listen to, like an Eminem beat that you actually really thought of. Mm-hmm. Usually, it's just an afterthought listening to him rap, but the production was really dope on there. But to go back to what you guys are saying about Eminem's content, and it's true. Like, I feel like Eminem. It's weird to me. People will be a fan of an artist like Rick Ross, which is completely fabricated. Like, no,
where you going with it?
Like it's complete fabricated bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And people like, and you know, and people like that.
I'm a fan of Ross, don't you?
And if you like, in the, you know, sorry world, but you know, but it's the thing, like, you know, so people can relate to something that's make believe, and I guess that's fine if you like make believe stuff by somebody who has something who uses some. If you like somebody who like uses other people's names and likenesses, and that's cool, I guess. But Eminem speaks his truth. Yeah. So if Eminem came out and he was trying to be a gangster and was trying to walk, talk, and act like Jay-Z or something, they would say, "Oh, he's trying to act black." So he comes in on his own lane. He comes in, he wears his white beater, his sweats, some Jordans. Yeah, talk crazy, and that's his wave. Now that's a problem when he's spitting his truth. And it's funny too, and to point Walter, what you said. Also, I always compare Eminem to this, like a show that I love is Family Guy. You watch Family Guy, and you look on the surface of it, it looks kind of like Goofy is a talking dog, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Right. But if you really listen, it's some of the smartest writing ever on the history of television. Yeah. And Eminem's the same kind of way. Like, there's a lot of, you look at him on the surface, oh, he's killing his mom, or he's doing this. But if you really listen when he's saying, the way he's putting it together, is it the double entendres, all those different things, the storytelling, is able to laugh and cry at situations. It's some of the most brilliant writing in the history of not just rap music, but pop music in general. Absolutely. And go ahead, Shaunus.
I was going to say, I think you hit the nail on the head, because Eminem brings out the truest form of like hypocrisy in all of hip hop. Like the same folks that are talking about, we need to unite. We can't believe we're being discriminated against, X, Y, Z, the man doing this, the man doing that. And people literally will type all the time, well, Eminem can't be top 5 because he's white. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it be that. And then you have folks who will beat the drum for every lyricist, every underground artist who ever, I just want to talk about Jay-Z all day. I want to talk about all these guys. It's about lyricism. You say Eminem, and they be like, oh, well, I don't relate. Like, it's always going to be a stickler. It's like, well, I don't like his beats, or I don't like his lyricism. But then, like I said, we bring this up all the time. Pac has a great impact, and they're like, bars is first. Bars is first. What about Eminem? Bars is second because of content. Like, it's always. Go ahead.
I want to say something too. You made a very important point, because we got to get to this. Because it's like, those say Eminem is only dope because he's a white guy, or he only gets props because he's a white guy. Like, Asher Roth is on the top 5. Like, Asher Roth is dope. But Asher Roth, Bubba Sparks, Paul Wall, Mac Miller.
I love Paul Wall. Paul Wall.
Paul Wall is a joke.
Okay.
Stop it. Paul Wall's first album is dope.
I like Bubba Sparks, okay? What I'm trying to say is that it's the top 5.
I have to disagree with Bubba Sparks. I'm sorry.
Deliverance was fire, too.
Bubba was fire, yo. Shit.
In terms of the top 5 category, these guys aren't mentioned in the top 5. So we just can't say, oh, if you're white, you'll be top 5. That's incorrect. Right. There's been more white rappers than Eminem. He's just been the most successful because he's nice. Yeah. Because, and it starts with 2. If Jay-Z was white, would he be Jay-Z? Right. If Nas was... If Nas was Middle Eastern, would he be like? It's like if anybody.
And so,
I don't know about Jay-Z.
No, you can be Middle Eastern.
It's a hindrance.
I get what you're saying though.
It's a hindrance in hip hop. Like it goes against them.
Right. When people say does image play a part, it plays a part in everything. Everything. But you can't be nice consistently and blame that on his race. Like it's stupid. It's stupid. It's a stupid argument.
And the thing is too with that Walter, like Eminem paid his dues. Like we were saying earlier, like Eminem went through the battle. He went through the battle circuit. Eminem didn't blow up when he was 19. It was damn near 30 when his album came out.
Scribble Jam. He battled. He battled Rhyme Fest. He battled Rhyme Fest in the Scribble Jam in Detroit. Like he was discovered as a battle rapper. Oh, those who say battle rappers can't make records. Eminem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's
done things that nobody else has done.
Yeah.
And if Eminem wasn't super dope, he wouldn't have got accepted because even like now being white might have helped him sell 10 million records.
Right.
But he still had to be accepted by a hip hop community. Like Eminem was on the Up and Smoke tour.
Yeah.
Like with the gangster, like the guys who invented gangster rap. You can't do that unless you are super ill. Like you can't just be up there with Ice Cube and Dre and Snoop and just be up there because you white. They wouldn't even let you get on the bus. They wouldn't even let you smoke with them. Like
no Q. No Q ain't having it.
No Q. Exactly. No Q wasn't letting that happen.
Exactly. Like man, like
he wasn't letting that happen.
Even the mean face. Like who's this? But two, and I know you probably mention this later. Eminem's with the Outsiders, like in Jersey. You know this, Celeb.
I do.
Yeah.
Young Z and Roger.
All the lyrics Lounge tape.
He was with the Outsiders like back in then before he had the deal, before he was with Dre. Like he had to be somewhat official. He's a guy from Detroit rocking with some New Jersey underground crew. Like what are we talking about?
Cool freestyles he would do back in the day.
Yeah, like man, it's go ahead, Brittany. I'm about to go off.
Well, to that point, I think that Eminem wasn't afraid to go smack at anybody. Like he went at George Bush. I'm talking Christina Aguilera, Miley Cyrus. He went at Carson Daly. He went at Dre. He went at like where's Dre? Dre's dead in my basement. Like this is his boy. So I mean, he had the respect of his peers because he would talk about anyone and there was no one coming back at him. There was no one who was stupid enough to come back at him and say anything. This man could freestyle.
They tried.
There were some.
Absolutely.
Right.
And where's Ja Rule at now?
But let's think about.
If you listen to Get You Mad, Eminem threw shots at Mystical. He threw shots at LL Cool J.
Everybody.
He threw shots at everybody. Because the other rappers, they'll jump out their face all day. They'll take the slightest little thing and think somebody talking about them.
Yeah.
Like nobody, like people say M's only dissing Britney Spears, but how come your favorite rapper ain't knocking on his door?
Right.
Exactly. They don't want them to answer.
But how many rappers do you know went at everybody?
Yeah.
Like you look at Drake and Meek Mill, and this is like child's play. It's like he went at everybody.
Right.
And that's why, to me, man, I know it's like a sidebar, but like one of the best times in all of hip hop was when the Shady Aftermath G Unit was popping. I mean, from Dre to 50 and Banks and Game and Buck and then Eminem, and they really rocked out as and it was their demise too because they were too cliquish, which kind of led to them being kind of outsiders and internal friction. But man, it was nothing better than knowing you better not say nothing about 50 or Banks or M or it's everybody. It's not this stuff today where you can hop over and say something about Wayne but not Drake or like these it was everybody in the unit, and you better not ever even mention Dre or everybody's coming to get you. Like it was really.
I want to say something too. If y'all would really know those out there, like the lyrical prowess of him in terms of his diss records, look up The Sauce with Eminem. Yeah. That's probably one of my favorite diss. He was dissing Benzino. Benzino, he's not really a lyrical. But how Eminem crafted that diss record to storytelling and how he fell in love with the source, how there was blackballing him, that goes into Benzino, his character, and then like his lyrical wordplay, he's like bouncing off of every other word. I'm just like, oh my, like the deuce with 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 the deuce. I was like, what in the world is this?
Yeah.
Like, they just give you chills. Like it's rare. Like there's rappers out here, you dance their music, you do the snap dance, you turn up, and that's cool. But it's rare when an MC can spit lyrics and you get chills off of what they're saying.
You know the song that does that for me, Walter?
Yeah, you're glad.
Is my bad. Is Run Rabbit Run, the last song on 8 Mile soundtrack.
That
song. An MC's worst dream. I make them tense. Rappers see me and shake like a chain link fence. I'm like, dog, like get out of here, dog. Like, it's insane.
Can I pause a question?
Jeez, go ahead.
So I want to ask, if we got time to go around. I mean, you talk about bar for bar with anybody. You talk about, regardless of how he got there, the impact and sales. I think I always separate them because some people have, but I mean the impact on the game that he had.
Yeah.
Sales. I mean, tell me why Eminem can't be your number one. Why? And you talk about, like, for me, he has 2 classic albums, and so I understand you may have Jay-Z or Nas who has 3 or 4, but some people also say Jay ain't never being over Big, and Big don't have no more. So tell me a legitimate reason why he can't be number one, not top 3, not top 2 and preserving your favorite. Why can't he be number one from an objective standpoint, if you can? All
right, I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna hit Slizzy. All right. So the reason why Eminem is super dope and he can't be number one is because although Eminem is probably the most lyrical person on my list, probably the most lyrical, and what I mean lyrical in terms of how he designs. He designs his compositions, lyrical compositions. The reason why is based upon the consistency of songs compared to a Nas or Jay-Z. I feel like at this point in my life, as a grown man, I could probably say that I could rank Eminem higher than Biggie Smalls on my list. I could say that. However, it's going to be hard for Eminem to come up with so many classic songs like Nas over Jay. Jay's body of work, diversity, different eras, different flows, his gems. I could probably apply a Jay-Z line to almost every fragment of life, of every situation, like even the whole Bobby situation. I'm like, oh, hard to be Bobby Brown, to be Bobby Brown. Like this is Jay. And then Nas, just the Illmatic being the lyrical Bible. As much as I love Eminem, Eminem hasn't really crafted anything to me like Illmatic. As much as I love Marshall Mathers, that's Eminem's classic, but that's not a bigger classic than Illmatic or Reasonable Doubt or Blueprint or Black Album or Stillmatic. Well, maybe close to Stillmatic.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'll give it Stillmatic. So that's the reason why. If Jay-Z and Nas didn't exist, Eminem would probably be my number one. But just because they're there, it's gonna be. And then Eminem now, I don't think he's gonna be able to catch up because, like I said before, although Eminem is like in this lyrical space of he's like a superpower. He's like Superman. Where Superman is just so powerful, nobody can really, but nobody really cares. It's like Eminem is so lyrical now. Sometimes he's too lyrical to where now the songs are suffering based upon his lyricism. He's like, I'm sure I can rap you. I can rap. I'm the rap god. Like, what's happening? And so that's the only reason why I can't put Eminem as my number one. But I could rank him above a Big, but lyrically and consistency and body of work. But to beat Nas and Jay-Z, that's tough. That's my long drawn out answer. I'm just so passionate tonight. Lizzie, give me why can't Eminem be your number one? He's not even your top 5. Why am I asking you? He's not even your top 5.
Yeah. Okay, one thing.
You told me the songs, right?
Why is not my top? Huh? Why is not my top 5?
What is your top 5 right now?
Big, Nas, Jay, Scarface, Jada.
I can't argue with that. I want to, but I can't.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
I can, but it's not my turn. I can. Like there's absolutely nothing.
I personally can't argue with
But
I can't argue with two people. I can't argue with two people for 2 different reasons.
Oh yes, true. Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna leave you alone, Slizzy. You pulled out the master cheat code. Drew, why couldn't Eminem be your number one?
Yeah. The reason why.
That was it. I can't. Slizzy, you got the cheat code. I'm moving on.
God, come on.
I'm gonna double back. Drew, why couldn't Eminem be your number one?
Nas is the greatest of all time to me, and the reason why M can't be ahead of Nas, because back to your point with Illmatic, when Eminem wrote, if you listen to the Infinite album, you can see the Illmatic influence. And Eminem said it that when he made Infinite, he was trying to be Nas and AZ. Yeah. And Nas, and that's the reason why Nas is the best to me, because when I go through and I look at Pac. Pac has stole Nas' song concepts, Nas' beats. Biggie stole the album covers. Jay-Z says his name on every single album he ever made. Yeah. Eminem is his. Eminem is his. Nas was who made him, is who he was trying to be when he first made his first record. So Nas is everybody's dad. So I can't put his kids ahead of him.
Yeah.
Real quick question. How'd you feel about on the Eminem show when he had Nas like 8th on the list after Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie?
No.
That's not Outkast.
No, because you listen.
I don't think that was in no order. To be honest, I think he was just flowing.
But I think at the end he said, "Here's the order of my list at its end."
Yeah, right. He didn't. That wasn't no order.
So Nas was at the top.
I hated when Eminem said Andre from Outkast. I hated that. Like, just say Outkast. Don't take out Big Boy. I hated that. He did that. No, the fact that he did
that, man. I can't stand it.
That messed up rap history forever. When he did that, it was over. It was over. Yeah, I hated that he said that. I hated that. When I say, "Oh, Michael from the Jackson 5," it's like just say.
Nah, that's different.
Way different.
That's a bad example. Brittany, why would Eminem? Is Eminem is your number one, and why isn't he your number one?
He isn't in my top 5. Excuse me. Right, rude. So no, okay. He is in my top 5. He's not my number one. Nas is my number one. The reason why Eminem probably couldn't be my number one is because, like you said, Walter, he's just too lyrical. I think that he wraps around himself, and he doesn't leave any room for a different type of vibe. He doesn't. I mean, it's 2016, and you think about Jay has a song out, Nas has a song out, and they're kind of going with the time, the way that the times have changed. I think Eminem is still stuck in the 2000s. And the reason why I say that is because he keeps bringing up old shit. Like, it's time to talk about what's relevant in your life in 2016. Not what's relevant in your life in 2000. We're not there anymore. And I mean, great rappers progress. Jay progress, Nas progress. I think that he's just stuck there. So that's why he's not my number one.
I got a question.
Well, Eminem's wrong because his daughter.
I mean, he's still talking. He's still talking shit about people. It's like, dude. I mean,
but you know my point to that is, if I can say something real quick.
Okay.
I think.
Slizzy, you had a question? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, back in. So Brandon, are you saying that he hasn't grown as far as like content wise, like as far as like what he talks about? As far as is that what you mean?
Well, he's obviously grown as an artist, but what I'm saying is, like, if Eminem puts out a song right now in 2016, I guarantee you he's gonna come smack at somebody again. Yeah. And it's like that's the same Eminem we're used to in 2000. Like, I feel like on the radio right now, what you hear is a more relaxed intellectual vibe from these rappers. I mean, you take Kendrick, you take Jay, you take Nas. They're taking a more relaxed approach to hip hop. They're not coming hard at you anymore because I feel like they've reached a level of God rap that they don't need to do that anymore. And I just think that Eminem is he's still stuck there. Like, if he can make a song or an album out right now where he doesn't talk about anybody, would it still be great?
Yeah. I think that's the thing with Eminem. I feel like maybe he's been so transparent that like he's maybe run out of things to talk about to be relatable. I think that's hard.
Right.
Eminem's a person where if Eminem's not rapping, you won't see him. He'll hide out. He's ghost. He's on planet Jupiter. You won't see him. You'll see Jay at a party. You'll see Nas working with the Get Down doing things. But Eminem's out. This
is my. If I have to argue the other side of that real quick from an equity standpoint, right? Like we will, because of who we are, the people who have these conversations in our culture, we will never get tired of Jay-Z rapping about drugs from album 1 to album 15. But we will get tired really quickly with Eminem talk. Like if Eminem's still talking about, okay, I'm struggling with prescription pills, and this is where my relationship is with Dre. It's no different. Like Jay-Z been talking about him and Beyonce, him and Emery, him and Dame. Like these same conversations come up. They don't have to be new. Jay-Z don't have to reinvent the wheel. He stunt different ways. He's talking about cars in one album. It's paintings now. It's I got more money than you. And it's
but my rebuttal to that will be, and you make a valid point. But see, Jay can say, I used to do that, but now I'm with B at the Grammy Awards. Eminem's gonna say.
That's why he got that's why he did on to the next one.
Eminem's gonna say, I'm protecting my daughter, but his daughter's 30 right now. So it's like.
It's like, how many times can we hear him talk about killing his mom? You know, or how many times?
Exactly. You know,
or how many? But wait.
He hasn't though.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is, I guarantee you, if he puts out an album, his mom is gonna be a subject on that album. All I'm saying is let's get some new content. Let's get something new to rap about.
But that's what I was going to say, though. If you listen on Recovery, if you listen to Recovery, Eminem's not talking about his mom on Recovery. He don't mention her.
Yeah.
That's not like Recovery. Like the Recovery album. This is the thing. This is two things. This is one main issue with Eminem, and this is where being white hinders him, because he don't have no vibe. Like Jay-Z's always gonna have a vibe because he's black, he's a cool rapper. Like
he's cool. Jay-Z's cool.
Eminem, even when he was selling the most records, he was never the cool guy. That's never been Eminem's thing.
Right.
So M's never. That's where being a white rapper hurts him, because what's a 44-year-old white guy gonna do? That's gonna be like, oh, that's crazy. The only thing in M's bag at this point is bars. So he's at a point where his career where he can make whatever kind of music he wants. He's not constrained to the fight of having to make the next big single, and he's done everything that you can accomplish in music. So he's not constrained, but now he can just do the kind of music he wants. He wants to rap better than everybody else. That's what he's gonna do.
Right.
But if you listen to the Recovery album, that's all he's doing. You listen to songs like Seduction. You listen to On Fire. That album is just about rap music.
But Drew,
it's not about Haley. It's not about none of that.
But I feel you. But we had Marshall Mathers too, though. I mean, his most recent album, he's talking about now he's not killing his mom anymore. He made up with his mom. He's talking about killing his dad now. And so he had dreams.
That's true.
Eminem is killing off more people than Power.
Hold on, wait. Let me ask you this.
Come on.
Walter,
he's killing more people than Power, man.
Who's killed more people, Walter? Eminem or Pusha T? like all these rappers, like Lil Wayne killed more people in rhymes than Eminem. Like he don't have characters. He don't have characters. Lil Wayne kills some dude that's down the street.
Rick Ross,
yes, but he's killing real people. He's killing family members, like not the nigga down the street.
Jay-Z shot his brother in real life.
They shot his family. Reach.
Hold up. Pusha T is selling the product, okay? Everyone's actually killing the same person over and over again. So it's like, but I get what Brittany is saying. I think that's a valid point. Eminem, his last album, Marshall Mathers LP2, he's made up with his mom. He apologized to her. Now he hates his dad. And that and his third most famous topic is battling hip hop and showing hip hop like rhyme. And hip hop is this, and I love hip hop. And that's like the only thing. It's like he's like a networking party. Ever been to a networking party? He's talking to somebody, and they don't have any type of diverse topics at all. It's just like that thing the whole night. You're like, this is great. Let me go to the bathroom real quick. You got the bathroom, and they come to you. about the same thing. Okay, let me get something to drink. And then you get something to drink and you turn around, they're right behind you. They asking you the same thing. I feel like that's what Eminem, I feel like it's like the lyricism is increasing. He's almost wrapped himself in his own category. But we don't care about the songs anymore. The songs aren't giving me chills. I'm like,
no. My last point with that is,
I'm like, this song, I couldn't write this song, but I don't know if I want to hear it again.
And my last point to that,
I never listen to rap.
But it is once again when we say we. There are, like, when you talk about, there are white people across America. We need to have another Eminem debate with like 4 white people on here, because if you ask them seriously, if you ask them like, hey, have you heard Pusha T's album? I'm not just picking on Pusha, but it's like, man, I don't even know what he's talking about with the keys, open doors, and the kilos. Like, it was cool, the beat was cool, but what is he even talking about? And now when we're here with our culture, we're like, we don't want to hear you kill your mom. But if it's a white kid that struggled with depression and pills or really hates his mom or dad, he can't hear enough of it if you do it a different way. We can't hear enough drug bars if you have make it like, we can't hear enough of it, but we keep saying we because it's our community. We don't have that. The white community is sales to us, and then content, we come to the black community like, oh, we like the content because we all come from the same struggle, which is where hip hop originated. So there's okay to have some sort of bias there. But if we're looking objectively across as an artist, it's not necessarily always fair to knock him and say it's content because we don't like the content, but 10 million people do.
Yeah. I get it. Well, I would say this to that. I feel what he's saying, and it's a struggle in our community because I feel like as much as we say we relate to Nas and Jay-Z, most of us don't. Like most of us haven't killed anybody. Most of us didn't have a Rolls Royce at 15. Most of us didn't sell weight. So it's like as much as we say Jay-Z is more relatable to Eminem, we probably can relate more to Eminem than Jay-Z.
Everybody else.
Yeah, I've always thought that's a good point.
Notion, none of these guys are relatable. Like even Jay now is probably so unrelatable to any one of us because of big successes with the private jets and owning islands and stuff like that. So I feel like that's true in a sense. I feel like you couldn't find people with Eminem, but I also feel like there's some people who are white who are buying it because he's Eminem and they're not really listening to what he's saying. It doesn't matter. So it's a tough fan base. It's a tough
because Eminem's albums are still going platinum.
Yeah.
But we have these debates. Does that necessarily mean that it's relatable? I don't know. It's
tough, man. It's tough. It's tough because we don't have that voice and that equity, man. But and that's why, like, when you have to give benefit of the doubt, you say, does he have skill? We don't know who bought Vanilla Ice's record, but we can say, well, he doesn't have skill, so let's just throw that away to gimmick. We don't know who bought Hammer's records. Well, I know a lot of people in Oakland probably bought them, but we can throw that away to not having skill. So when we say Eminem, we can say, and you named all those lists of white artists, we still got to give them the benefit of the doubt to say they were waiting for somebody with skill. They didn't just buy Bubba Sparks. They didn't just buy those guys. He has skill, and clearly they relate to him. Like, it's like we relate to that too. You know what I'm saying? G-Eazy ain't going 10 times platinum. He's skilled and smooth. G-Eazy's kind of smooth and skilled to be white, but they ain't selling 10 million records because they ain't
buying 10 million records.
Well, that's what I think that separates Eminem from the other rappers is that, like Drew said, he doesn't have a vibe. He doesn't put R&B artists on his hooks. So it's like you can't really like two-step to an Eminem song.
Yeah,
you're never going to do that.
He tried with Akon, but that didn't work out.
Yeah.
I want to hear him do a version of Controller. I wish he made views.
Oh God, come on, man!
I think one thing Eminem's always
wouldn't even be the same record.
He could.
Lyrical.
Hold up, Drake is not a rapper. I'm sorry.
No, but if Eminem uses the relapse accent, I think he can pull it off.
It wouldn't be the same record though. It will be a lyrical record. You spitting bars over it. It wouldn't be the same record.
I wouldn't want to dance. I would want to go out and try to kill somebody. Like, come on, Eminem is going to make you commit suicide on Controller, and that's not what the record is for.
That's the thing, man. Like, that's the thing. Everybody, and that's the thing. Like, then that's where you that's why the debate of who the greatest MC is always a revolving door, and you get so many different answers because the same way Eminem's not gonna make you want to have a club record. He can't do Controller. But we love Wu-Tang, and there's nobody in Wu-Tang who's going to make it do anything in a club besides walk out.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear Raekwon talk about nothing besides his coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, everybody has their little hindrance, you know, the things, the little hiccups. Even as great as Nas is, and Nas has some, you know, some successful like crossover records, kind of. But Uchi Wally is a record that people kill Nas for to this day. Yep. As long as he's only like the real Uchi Wally on the QB5 album, Nas ain't even on it. That was something to help his brother, help Bravehearts out. Like Nas ain't even on the real Uchi Wally. And if somebody else made that song and had that beat, which is dope, even Fab reused it recently on his album. Like he got killed for it. You know what I'm saying? So even that, having a song with a vibe, even our favorite rappers can't always do that. Like people are not. Eminem has great social commentary. We got none from Big, not on one bar ever. You know what I'm saying? Like we love Big.
What? Even like from who? From Biggie? No, I completely disagree with that. Completely disagree with that.
What social economic issues was Biggie touching on?
Juicy, what are you talking about? Juicy was a social conscious rapper. What do you mean?
So you're gonna compare Juice. We're gonna compare Juice. Okay, we're not talking about like a artist with social commentary. I'm talking about the greats like Chuck D, Nas, artists like that. Biggie, Juicy does not. Juicy is about him and his mom was poor in Brooklyn like everybody else on the outside. That's not the same. That's not white America. You're
not gonna hear Big spit about police brutality or like the president or
exactly. That's not what goes on. Nas
telling his story.
What goes on? That's true. There's more social commentary if I wrote the world than Juicy.
I'm disgusted.
I'm not following what this has to do anything with Eminem. Like I'm confused. Like
what I'm saying is Eminem has the things that he can't do. Every rapper has the things he can do. True. Point. Like Eminem has the things he doesn't do well, but there's also things that we don't get from other artists. Everybody has their shortcomings.
Okay, gotcha. I was lost. I didn't know what was going on. Y'all got off.
Check this out. We're not talking about Big tonight. No more.
Right. No more Big.
I'll never put Juicy in that space.
You started by saying Eminem was better than Big, Walter. You started the Big talk tonight by saying it was better than Big.
I said Eminem. Hold on, no. Lyrically,
slow it down.
He is higher than Big. I said that.
It wasn't no lyrical in that. You said Nas and Jay, and he was better than Big at this point in his career.
It's on tape, so we'll run it back at the end. We'll see what happens.
We're going to post it in the group.
Back to Eminem not having a vibe.
Right. Eminem, please.
So I can't see myself ever vibing, like straight vibing and not paying attention to the lyrics to an Eminem song. I think the way that hip hop is going these days, people care more about the hook or the vibe or the way it makes them feel in the club or at home versus what content is in the song. And that's where he's going to struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, but and I've heard you say this a couple times, the way rap is going these days. Well, Eminem he came out in like 99, 2000. Like, we don't talk about the vibe Rakim has. Like, we don't expect him to. He came out leave him in his time frame. Like, he doesn't have to have a vibe. I mean, maybe
he doesn't have a vibe. He doesn't have a vibe in 2016. I'm talking about in 2000. Yeah, he had a vibe. He was off his I'm cleaning out my closet, I'm lonely, my mom drugs me vibe. But I'm talking about the way that hip hop is now today. People are talking about money, getting drunk. We can barely understand them. So to put him in a category and say, oh, well, against all of these other rappers, I mean, Biggie, Pac, they were different time frames than when Eminem was hot. So it's like, that's not fair. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, right now, if Eminem put out an album in 2016, he's going to use the same simple beats. The engineering is going to be the same. He's not going to have any features because he's going to feel like, I don't need them.
Brianna, I love the way you laugh part 8.
Well, no, because M has. M had the records with Kendrick. Him and Kendrick went back and forth.
That was a terrible song.
That was a terrible song.
That was a big of that year.
That was horrible.
Talib,
no.
I like that song.
Talib, when you heard that Kendrick and Eminem had a song together, weren't you excited?
I was hella excited, but at the point of the song was the reason why it worked because it wasn't your actual song that you were expecting. It went totally left, and that's what made it work.
Yeah,
no,
I agree
that's
with
true.
you. I agree with Talib.
That was the first song on his album was him and Kendrick Lamar, and that shouldn't happen. You can't have a song with Kendrick and that be the worst song. That can't happen. That can't happen.
But it wasn't the worst song though. That's the whole thing. It wasn't like that song was crazy.
It wasn't super great.
It was super. Oh my god!
It was
well, I mean, there's been. I mean, I don't know.
That song was. It was all like goofy and high.
Okay. At that same point though, look what he did on the Forever joint with Drake. Hottest song for like a year and a half, and he fit right in with the vibe, the way.
That's true.
With the three best rappers in the game right there, and he put them all in the bag, like
in the car.
And punched it after he was done.
I would say the three best rappers in the game at that point.
As they were, like, Kanye,
Wayne, and
Ludacris.
At that time, you stupid. At that time,
three best rappers in the game.
Wait.
At that time, yeah.
Well, hold up. Forever,
they're still to this day.
Hold up. Forever had Eminem, Drake, Lil Wayne, and Kanye.
Who's bigger than them?
Right.
At that time.
Go ahead and say Ludacris. I'll turn this laptop off.
Please.
Go ahead and say
I think Ludacris dropped from Def at that time.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. We have enough time for you to break that down. I want to break that down so bad.
At that time, we're talking about at that time, though.
At that time,
I don't agree with that.
We're talking about at that particular moment.
I don't agree with that, by the way, Walter.
You don't mean the best rappers at that time?
At that time, yes.
No, it wasn't.
Who were the biggest names at that time, Walter?
At that time, yeah, thank you. At that time, who were the biggest names at that time?
Hold. For the sake of argument, we're not going to address the fact that Wayne, Drake, and Kanye have been the three accused of having ghostwriters, right? We're not going to, right?
Of course.
Okay, so saying Eminem is writing with the three best rappers, he's Eminem, somebody who lyrically is the ghostwriter of people. That's almost. You're looking at that's not what I'm saying, Walter. What I'm saying is at that time, the three biggest rap stars and guys that are on a lot of people's top rapper biggest. Okay.
So the most popular. So Eminem was the OG on the record with the three hottest rappers in the game.
I agree.
I
agree.
And whatever you think about the ghostwriters, because Kanye has ghostwriters, whatever Drake got ghostwriters, Wayne. But what I'm saying is even those three are guys that people still. Well, I'm just saying allegedly. And people say, and there's people who still put them in the top rappers of all time. You make a list, you'll get people in those comments in the group today add Kanye in their top 5. Like, people love Kanye, people love Wayne, people love Drake. And Eminem, who was the older guy in the group, and that song, and he put work in on all three of them. Who are considered great MCs.
Okay. I like that. Because I heard biggest, I heard hottest. I didn't hear the best. So as long as we ain't saying the best, perfect. That's fine. Okay, one thing I want to talk about too about Eminem, and we mentioned it before, in terms of just like his competitiveness, which I miss a lot in hip hop. That's why I guess I fell in love with battle rap. Battle rap gives me that competition. It's like Eminem wasn't afraid, and I love that. Even with the beefs with Benzino and Cannabis and his lyrical structure, and the disses, they were events. And I feel like that's what we're missing in hip hop. I feel like that's why people were drawn so much to the whole Drake Meek Mill thing, because it wasn't an event. And that was even a weak event compared to what we're used to. But I really miss what Eminem brought to the game, man. I just wish we had some of that back. Like, I think people are they're so afraid nowadays to be competitive.
You hear that, Drake and Kendrick? Come on out, man. It's time. You hear that? Let's go.
It's time.
Yeah. Like Nas said about Pop, we at work because the best supposed to clash at the top. Like, it's okay to bump heads, man. You don't have to kill each other. But I think you kind of better. Like, you just say you kind of better. Like, what's wrong with thinking you're better than somebody? Like,
I just want to say that social media has a lot to do with the rap battles, if you want to call them that. between Drake and Meek. I mean, they're using memes to battle each other. Like, I don't know how that works, but Eminem, like you said, Walter, when it comes to Mac at you, like he would tell you, this is what my problem is. He came at Lauryn Hill, man. He came at Lauryn Hill, and I mean, she was on some caller called into a show and was like, Lauryn Hill said, my kids will starve before a white person buys my album. And Eminem was like, well, bitch, I just bought a whole bunch of albums. Your kids are going to starve. And
I could argue all y'all Lauryn Hill fans out there. I love Lauryn too. But
I love Lauryn, but he came at Lauryn hard. So,
but you know one thing,
culture of hip hop than Lauryn Hill. Hey, whatever.
But the one thing about the way the battles are going now, that's a good point about the memes and all that. But I got two feelings about that. Because for one, if you think about when Jay at Summer Jam when Jay dissed Nas and Prodigy, Jay-Z put up a big giant thing of Prodigy when he was at dance school when he was a kid. We just didn't call them memes back then. But if that was in 2016, that was the same thing Drake did to Meek on the tour. Like,
but he had bars though.
There was he did. But
bars.
But wait. The difference is. Go ahead.
But also too, I think part of that too is also Meek made the battle that way because he didn't bring it. I don't think Drake can meme his way through Kendrick Lamar. He can't meme his way through J. Cole. He can't meme his way through guys like that. Meek was so trash. He really became a living, walking meme because he really became a joke. So that's seriously. So that's why it made Drake being the kind of guy, the kind of guy Drake is, the kind of rapper artist he is. That played perfect into his hands. Now Kendrick's like, let's tap these gloves. You're not memeing your way out of this. So Meek's kind of trash. So it made Drake be able to take that lane.
Hey, Wall, can I say something real quick? Hey, Wall.
I mean, to that point, Drew, like Drake tried to get Meek to rap. I mean, in his quote unquote this song, so he was trying to come at Meek to get him to rap. He didn't want to, you know.
But Drake's first, you remember Drake's first diss though was super trash.
It was trash.
Meek had a space.
But that was his opportunity. That was his opportunity. And he failed.
But that goes back to me saying Meek is trash because he had his opportunity. There was a window for Meek to come through and really punch Drake in the mouth lyrically. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't take it.
I want to mention something.
So Drake got with his writers and came back to back.
I want to mention something. Hold on, Slizzy. I want to mention something. Remember that song Seduction? I think it's on Recovery.
Yes, sir. Fire.
I've listened to that song a lot of times, and I don't want to jump out here with the conspiracy theory, but I always thought that song was about Jay-Z for some reason.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I feel like Seduction was about Jay-Z and him really analyzing him indirectly, almost not like a I'm dissing you, but like a we all know what's what. We all know that you may be ahead of me in these.
We know what the deal is.
But you know, and I know that if this ever happened, it'd be over for you. That's what I feel like.
Can I validate that? You know something that's funny? In the early album, like I said, he said Reggie, Jay-Z was real, and then because he said Nas and then me. So he said and then me right there. And then when you get to Encore, when I hit the heavenly gates, I'd be cool beside Jay-Z. Like he brought himself way up to like a parallel, like I'm beside Jay-Z. First thing was Reggie, Jay-Z, and I'm down here. Now it's like in Encore, I'd be cool beside Jay-Z. And so now to further that, Recoveries now, like you said, Seduction. So I definitely think there's some jockeying going on there because he probably went back and heard some of the volumes and was like, yeah, I'm better than Jay-Z after listening to Volume 3.
I feel like that whole with the awe, and the CD player, and how she says my name. I feel like it was a time. Because keep in mind, Jay-Z said in a magazine, and it was like sometimes when Jay-Z gives you a compliment, you don't know if it's a compliment or an insult.
Yeah, but it's definitely backhanded compliment.
Yeah, but Jay-Z said something about like the rapper he feels the sorriest for is Eminem being so big and not being able to like enjoy success and being like almost trapped in his space. He was sorry for him, but like he's so closed off from the world type of spirit. I feel like Eminem be like, wait a minute, like all I've done.
What are you trying to say?
And it was like, I respect you a lot enough not to diss you, but don't get it twisted. Get it twisted. I could. You know what I'm saying?
Man, so, Jay,
I mean, there was
him on excuse me, miss. He was like, only big movement unit in Pimp. I'm like, but that's why I was going back in the Jay-Z episode, and I was like, oh, I got this Rock Nation hat on.
But yeah, I feel like that. He called us seduction for a reason. Like that whole thing was just brilliant, and nobody really talked about it. But I feel like real hip hop heads knew what he was talking about, but nobody really addressed it. It was never addressed. So.
Here's something else Eminem, and I'm trying to think, make sure in my head real quick. Something that Eminem has done, and it may not matter so much on paper, but everyone's tried to do this. And Eminem is the only person that had to have signed another top 10 to 15 rapper ever.
Yeah,
that's a home run. Like you talk about Fifth, who made my top 10 when we did the list last year. Yeah. I mean, the impact. Like you talk about, people ain't coming close. And this
what
is
about
not
Wayne?
Like,
what about Wayne and Drake?
Another top guy that signed a top guy. Wayne ain't, to me, a top 10 rapper that signed another top 15 rapper. Like Wayne ain't that high to me, so it's not as prevalent. And then Drake ain't that high.
I guess that's a matter of opinion.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But
if Wayne and Drake is the closest to M and 50, I guess, but.
No, lyrically, of course not. But you're talking about record sales and album sales, and that's debatable.
And impact, yeah, I mean,
that's debatable.
You can say right now, Drake's career is better than 50 Cent's career.
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
If we're talking about groups, then yeah, Drake and them is better than Fifth.
But
Outkast up there too.
Hold on.
You talk about groups, you gotta talk about Outkast and Drake and all them. We'll talk about groups, and we'll talk about individual artists without the ghost.
Albums ding sales. Then you can say it took Drake twice the amount of time to hit close to 50 sales, if you want to say that. But it's a different time period, and the rollout's different. It's a different space. So we're counting streams now, and back then we were counting albums. So it's a different battle.
Right.
But I will say this.
I have a question to the group.
In terms of Eminem, and people use the whole culture vulture thing, or he's a white guy, so he's rapping. I'm like, Eminem's put a lot of black people in business and put a lot of money into people's pockets. I think him and Justin Timberlake have done almost as much for black people as any other black entertainer in terms of the label and the entertainers and the band and stuff. I mean, you know.
Well, Walter, you're absolutely correct.
Go ahead, Brittany, first. I'm going to Slizzy.
No, it's interesting that you said what Eminem has done for black people, because right after he got out of rehab, if my memory serves me correctly, he donated about $600,000 to Katrina. I mean, and that's something at the time that wasn't published. I mean, people didn't know about it. So he's actually really done something for the black community. So I just wanted to validate that point.
He's doing a lot of money to the schools in Detroit. Everything.
We're talking Katrina, though. I mean, you're not even from that place, and you're giving love, right?
Yeah.
I think Puff and Jay donated combined $1 million, and M does $600,000 by herself. Like, it's crazy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's okay. That's different. All right. Jay-Z millions of dollars every day to starving kids on Mars, okay? That's what Jay does, all right?
Well, I mean, the comment was for the black community. Him not being inside the black community, being a white man, I mean.
Yeah. So go ahead.
It's kind of huge.
You say something, Slizzy?
Yeah, I was saying he had and without me, he did have a questionable bar in there where he said, to use black music so selfishly, use it to make myself wealthy. So that line right there kind of.
But that was sarcasm though. That was sarcasm.
That was a pun.
At the end, he said, "Hey, like goofy."
Hey, he's the thing that works. He was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
The whole
song. The point of using somebody for music can't happen. Like, I decide to buy the music. I like it. I say Eminem show is classic. I'm giving you money for your art. How do you use me? Like, you spend hours in the studio for my $15. It's impossible to use me for music. Like,
well, it's an ignorant statement. It's like, okay, so every black person, we have to assume they're gangster because they're black.
Right.
We have to. Every white person we have to assume is corny because they're white. It's like it's this broad stereotype we use, and we're discrediting ourselves. Like we are, like I said earlier, a lot of us haven't shot people. We haven't sold drugs. So just because I'm black, it's gonna be more realer than some white guy from a trailer park. Like he's lived a harder life than me. You know what I'm saying? Like so, this culture vulture thing is really out of control, and people just discredit people because they don't look like them. It's like this. It's not racism because as a minority you can't be racist, but it's ignorance. It's ignorance you're using to discredit somebody's work based on what they look like. And Eminem, if Eminem wasn't real before he got his deal, he's definitely helped out the black community afterwards. So
and at that same term, we sit up here and say, well, why we can't get a Grammy? Like we be like, nah, Eminem, stay in your lane, and then we be at the Grammy searching for an award. Like you need more blacks getting the Grammy. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like either it's good, M is still on as long as it's respectable. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see if M was out here like portraying something or trying to like he ain't doing none of that. He just giving props and doing his thing.
And I want to say something too about Eminem too. And before we wrap up, I think one of the reasons why people are like, why does Eminem rap about this goofy stuff or the trailer park and stuff? You have to understand it from his perspective. He understands hip hop, and as a white guy, you can't come out talking about shooting guns, even if you did it. Or even selling drugs if you did it because it's not seen as authentic because you don't look the part. So he's like, okay, well, how can I fit? In hip hop, you are credited for being original. You're praised for being an original person. So what can I say differently that somebody else hasn't said before? Let me talk about hating my mom. Nobody talks about that. Let me talk about killing my girlfriend in a different way. And let me talk about being from a trailer park. Let me talk about things other people haven't said so I can make my mark. And I feel like that's what hip hop is about. Hip hop is about originality because if he came out rhyming like Jay-Z and Nas and in the same topics, we wouldn't have appreciated him. He would have been every other throwaway white guy who wanted to be Jay-Z 2.0. So
and let's be honest, like part of the strategy too. Let's think back. Yeah. Eminem came out and he was very, very, very harsh on white stars. Perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't Britney Spears, if it wasn't Carson Daly, if this was black stars, if it was Will Smith, if it was Denzel White, if it was a whole bunch of black stars, he's instantly
Will did
racist.
Get it too, though.
He's absolutely I'm saying eventually though, but Will was thrown in with the other. So his main thing was pop culture. He didn't attack the white pop culture, and that's fine because he was white. He couldn't have came out of his very first album killing off a whole bunch of black stars.
Yeah, go ahead,
but let's remember where his first album was debuted and played the most was on MTV. Exactly. I mean, he was in the top spots with like Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears. So he was coming for his competition. At the time, he wasn't necessarily a crossover artist. So he was coming for the people who were taking his number one spot, which were Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys. So he's like, I could just eat these cats alive and be number one.
Rapper.
But a point to that,
the only rapper in the TRL era for real.
Well, that's the thing, though.
I mean, especially in number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
Eminem, but if you listen, like Eminem spoke on a lot, though. But to your point, I think part of that too is Eminem's rebellion against being put in that class.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You listen to his albums. He has one record on there like Without Me or some shady. The rest of it is stuff you can't even play nowhere else.
Right.
And so I think Eminem was very annoyed by the fact that even like he said on Real Some Shady. So you can sit here next to Britney Spears like that annoyed him. Like he said on Marshall's LP, he was like now because of this blonde mop that's on top of this effed up head that I got, I've gone pop. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never gone pop. This is how I look, but my music is about cutting people's heads off. I don't make pop. I'm not dancing. I'm not coordinated outfits with the rest of D12. I'm not that. Y'all put me in this space. So my retaliation to that is I hate you. You're whack, and I hope you die. Like, which is which is a harsher. But Eminem is based on the extreme.
Exactly.
You know? Well, he understood. He understood how to get out of white pop culture is to come at everyone and threaten to kill them. They're not going to want you in their category if you're basically lyrically throwing machine guns and grenades at all of pop's beloved stars. Like that's not how that's going to work.
But then he circles back, and a big part of what Eminem did too, which was a big part of his controversy, was what he said about gay people. but then he can circle back and then do the Grammys with Elton John. You know, so you say that, man, it's all good. This is just, you know, so it's weird how he was able to juggle all of that and make it still work, you know?
And he came at Frank Ocean and Marshall Mathers LP too. He came after Frank Ocean. So it's like
Versace.
He is true, right?
It's like Eminem needs an enemy, and I feel like I would love to hear a song now or album now. There doesn't have to be an enemy. Just like what is he going through right now, watching his daughter grow up, and maybe him feeling isolated from hip hop and isolated from the culture. I want to hear some songs about that where there isn't like this enemy of this person, that person, just internally. Go back to Infinite. I want to hear.
I wish Drake though.
I disagree. I don't know if I want to hear about what he's going through with his daughter. I really don't care.
Oh no, not the same thing. Watching her grow up, man. All right.
But the audience really doesn't care, Walter. I'm sorry. Like, we don't. It's not going to sell.
Eminem, do something. Okay, I want to do something.
I think the lane Eminem could take. I think the lane that would be good for Eminem right now would be the Cole, kind of like J. Cole. If he did an album so similar to like Forest Hill Drive, because like I said, one thing I think is dope about Eminem, I feel like Eminem has always had that ability to talk about different subjects. Yeah. And you know, and he has that conscience about the world around him. And I think I'm sure he has plenty of thoughts on the situation with the police and even just the duality of being a white guy in a black male's world. Having to deal with that. I'm sure Eminem has a lot of thoughts on race and different things like that. I think it'd be fascinating for him to really tap into that and really do that and not make no beats.
If he does an album kind of like
no more.
I need the production to be on point.
If he does an album,
simple beats. No more than simple beats.
3 or 4 instruments in the same beat. It's always that same snare
and the same drums.
Very simple.
The same scratch.
The same drums.
The violin, and then the orchestra part of the second verse. The second verse of it, and then the bass line. It's that same format. So
Alchemist is his tour DJ. Let Alchemist go in there, chop some soul up for you.
Let
Al do it. Link back up.
Let Just Blaze get a couple up tempo.
He might actually get somewhere if he does an album similar to the Detroit versus Everybody freestyle. If he can do an album that encompasses what he did on that freestyle, he might actually get somewhere because he wasn't going at anybody in particular. He was just going off the dome. I mean, and he's probably the best freestylist ever. But he can't. I mean, his albums are going to be dry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I got so hyped for the Marshall Mathers LP too, and again, lyrically, it was super on point. Like lyrically, I couldn't, but there were some songs I wanted to replay, and that was the unfortunate part. As much as we talk about lyricism and bars, those things are great. We want to be able to replay the music too. They still have.
That's what I be saying, but people don't listen to me when I say it though. It's all good.
Yeah, it's tough, man. But I
haven't listened to that album in a very long time.
Me either. And it sucks because it's Marshall Mathers LP2. It had great sales. He's rhyming at his best, but the songs just didn't connect like they used to. So shout out to Eminem again. He's my top 5 to me. I think he's one of the best to do it on the mic. I think no MC is perfect. So when we talk about Eminem struggles and what he needs to do, these aren't things like Eminem is whack. I feel like we have to make this disclaimer because in 2016, if you say anything other than this person is the greatest, if you say they're the greatest, you're deriding. If you say, oh, I don't like this thing, then you're hating. It's like we can't say we love this person's music, but it would be better if they did this. Like we can't ever give a critique without being impartial. So I think Eminem is dope, fantastic. I feel like no MC is perfect. Jay-Z's had his dry moments. Some people will debate Jay-Z still having his dry moment. You know what I'm saying?
Jay was too poppy for a minute, like in the late 90s. Jay was too poppy.
He's still poppy.
Miles was doing stuff he didn't have.
I personally wouldn't say that. Shout out to Rock Nation, shout out to Jay-Z. I love I got the keys. But
there was something that Jay said about dumbing down his lyrics so he can double his money.
Double dollars, yeah.
So right. So it's like, is he really not lyrical, or is he choosing not to be just to, I mean,
it's a little bit of both.
Be where he's at.
Magna Carta, Holy Grail.
Before we sign off, can I do a quick lightning round, Walter? Yes or no question?
Oh yeah, lightning round. Go ahead, Shauna. Hit him up.
All right. So quick yes or no question. Is Eminem capable of making another classic album? Yes or no?
Who? Yeah. What? Say it again.
Is Eminem capable of making another classic album? Yes or no?
Yes, I think so.
Well, we're around the room real quick. Slizzy, yes or no?
With the right production, yes.
Okay. Rap nerd, Talib.
Yes, with the right features.
Drew.
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes, he needs beats.
Uh-oh, BMOC.
Yeah. It's like asking me, can Martin the series come back and make a dope season again? Like, I'm sure, but I don't know if it's going to happen because of the moment. You know what I mean? Like, to get Gina back and Pam back. It's like getting Eminem to get with Dre, but
But you know what the thing with that is, Walter, you can't try to recreate the past. You have to come with something new, and that's what
it has to be fresh.
On.
Absolutely.
So if you come with something fresh, that's
yeah, but hold on. I just don't know if Eminem's new is going to be classic. We would have to see. I think we would have to see. I feel like
I just think it would be weird if Eminem was like on 40s beats. Like it just wouldn't be authentically him.
I'll tell you this. I understand that point, but with the right person, like if Eminem legitimately sparked up and had like a beef with like Drake, and it was like similar to Stillmatic, where like part of the album was like kind of like a legit, like he can make a good album going at somebody as long as it's legitimate. Like if he had a legitimate beat with like Drake or like Jay-Z, and he's like, man, I've been saving these bars for Jay, and this is when we ran into each other back in 2000. Like he could make a class. Like if he had a legitimate beef, that could be a part of the album too. I just don't know if he cares that much about it.
But he has to have a beef. He has to have a beef, and that's the problem.
I got the perfect people for him, though. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, hold up. Let me say this. It's kind of like, and me and Drew, we love Michael Jackson, and there's people who love Prince, there's people who love Stevie Wonder, and these are great legends. But I can't say that Michael Jackson's last body of work was classic. I can't say Prince's last body of work was classic. I can't say Stevie Wonder's last album was classic. So, and they have several classics, and they could do something new. They could step outside of the box, and they may be good. But to make another classic album after you've done so much, or based upon a certain style and that's a tough thing to do. It's like Jay-Z. Can Nas give us another classic album? Can Jay? It will probably be the same answer. It's like, yeah, they're probably capable of it, but is it going to happen and roll out like what we are going to receive? It's a tough question.
Well, this is what I always think about, like other great, and just comparing to other great artists, and like how we always go back to Michael, right? One of my favorite artists of all time is Paul Simon. His most famous album is Graceland. Paul Simon was kind of dry, like how Eminem is right now. But somebody who's had ton of success, has classic albums, Grammys album of the year, Grammys. He's done it all.
Yeah.
Solo and and as a duo. So his Hearts and Bones comes out in '81, I think, and it flops, doesn't do anything. So Paul Simon's thing was, well, I can start just listening. I can make what I want to make, and I also don't have the heat of the media and the label snooping around my sessions. I don't have the pressure of the fans because I'm cold right now.
Right.
He was able to come. He was able to slide away to South Africa, make an incredible album, come back and hit everybody in the face with it. And when he was back, and he made the biggest record of the year. Right. So I look at it in those kind of contexts. Eminem right now, there's nobody really paying him any attention. Everything else is on Drake and everybody else. Right. So if he gets in that space where he's creative, he can do what he wants to do. He doesn't have that pressure of having to come out with a big record. That's when greatness can be born, when you don't have that pressure on you. So, and I never count out that level of talent. When somebody is that talented, you can never totally count that out. So if M he's in the space where he's fully creative, and he can just sit with a record and do what he wants to do, the possibilities are there, because the other forms of music people have done the same thing of being in his situation.
Hopefully,
that's why
just
I think
take
he
50
could do
with
it.
him. Just take 50 with you, man. I need one more 50 out of him. Just take him with you.
What I want to say is this. Right. Don't talk about 50 tonight, please. But what I want to say is this. I feel like that's a perfectly logical answer, but I feel like he had that same space with Marshall Mathers LP too. I feel like after Relapse was a comeback album, there was pressure. Then Recovery was his comeback, right? And then he had proved himself again, and that was it. And then he decided to make Marshall Mathers LP 2.
But that was the problem.
He decided
the title.
Right. But he decided to title that and to put that pressure on him. And critically, he didn't live up to it. So I feel like
I don't think he got with the right people for that though. That's the thing.
But I mean, there's several reasons why that didn't work out. What I'm saying is that he was in a space where he didn't have to prove anything. He put the pressure on himself, and then he didn't live up to it. So that's his next shot. You're right. He's in a space where like nobody's really paying attention. But I feel like any pressure that he had previously, he put that on himself. Like Recovery, he was in the clear. Recovery was just good enough to where it's like, okay, it's better than Relapse. It's a critical success. Eminem, that's it. He can rock to the sunset. He's done. But he came back and named the next album Marshall Mathers LP 2, the sequel to a classic. Like, and it wasn't classic material. So as much as I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, he kind of created the doubt. So I think Eminem is lyrically at his peak. I would just love it if he creates songs that are relatable. I don't want a classic now. I just want good music. I don't even want I just want a song. I want a song I want to play more than once.
Yeah.
Or how about this? You can go on eBay and buy a pair of Eminem Jordan 4s for like $4,000. Eminem 4s, go watch the Eminem 4s.
Hey, Eminem, make Infinite Part 2. Do that. Make Infinite Part 2. I love that.
I didn't want a song with Nas, man, straight up.
Right. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Why? Okay, hold up. Why does it, number one, Eminem and Nas don't have a song, and not that topless cover with T.I. and all that. I'm talking about why does it Nas and Eminem have an original song, and why does it Jay-Z, Nas, and Eminem have a song together? Why hasn't that happened?
I don't know.
What's up?
From what I gather, Eminem is difficult to work with. If you can remember him trying to kill his bodyguard, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I would the cross from Godson and Eminem did that track, but
with no kind of backdrop. I mean, you got to remember that Nas and Fifth wasn't rocking, and M ain't about to go just and do willy nilly with Nas if Fifth ain't rocking with him. So and then he was kind of doing some work with Jay-Z at the time, and he was on the Blueprint. So maybe Nas wasn't gonna call him right after the Blueprint, and then that rolled into 50, and so there probably was never a good time where him and M was in cordial enough space to be like, hey, like who's gonna call who to do a record? Because I'm not about to call Nas and be arguing with Fifth like game, and Nas probably ain't finna reach out to him because he don't know where he's staying at. So just probably with some weird energy.
They gotta make that happen. I mean, these are three living legends. I mean, before somebody dies or passes away, we need an Eminem and Jay-Z. I mean, so we need a Nas and Eminem song. And if we're lucky enough, we gotta have a J Eminem Nas. I mean, just for the history book.
Yeah.
Like,
with Nelly on the
culture.
That's an event. That's an event that we need more events in hip hop.
And then even like Outkast too, like that happened as well.
Oh Lord, whatever.
Oh Lord, please.
Don't get me started on that one. All right, so y'all tell me out here. We had a really good debate tonight. Tell me, is Eminem for the viewers at home, the subscribers? Is Eminem in your top 5? I know we're gonna hear, oh, he's in the greatest, he's in my personal. I want to hear your personal top 5. The one that means the most to you. When you're in a barbershop and we're having these conversations, are you going to champion Eminem in that moment? If you're not, put in the comments and tell me why not. If Eminem is definitely in your top 5, tell me in the comments why he is that, and show some love. So shout out to everybody that's watching. Give me your last shout outs, last words, comments. What's up?
I don't have nothing, man. Just thanks for the views. Good vibes. Like I said, it down. I said just man, give him his just due. Go back and listen to the classic stuff, and then fill yourself in. But we gotta stop, man. Give him his credit.
Please don't be like Ja Rule. end up disappearing. No, Ja Rule, he said, what is it? Your mom's the drug addict, your girl's a known slut. What is Haley gonna do when she?
He said, Haley, baby, come here, grab daddy's Oscar. We're gonna shove it up Ja Rule's ass or something like that. He said something.
Ja Rule was old, boy. Ja Rule had his mom, girlfriend, and his daughter in one 8-bar setup. You gotta give Ja Rule props for that.
No, we don't. We have to give Ja Rule nothing.
Eminem was so mad.
Aftermath.
Eminem was so mad he didn't even respond. He just had the boys diss him, and he shot in the background. That's how mad Eminem was at the Ja Rule. That's hilarious. Like, that was crazy. All right, Drew. Any last words, man? Shout outs.
No, great show, everybody. It was fun. Yeah, everybody. Go, like Shauna said, listen to them classes, man. Don't forget about the greats, man. Like, we get caught up in our. The news, there's always a new record coming out, and everything's on Apple Music and titles so fast. But there's like seriously, and it's dope because there's always so much new music. We kind of forget about the greats. So check back with those. You can follow me on Twitter, Bricks is King, on there, and get a lot of my thoughts on this kind of stuff. And Niners get that W tomorrow. Let's start the season off right. Let's get it.
Oh, yeah, Drew, I see you on the gram, man, the IG, man. The IG popped up, man. You on the IG now?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What's up? Lizzie, any last
Boss had your name on there, too.
Plug the show, the radio. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna get it right this time. You had Adina Howard on.
Yes.
Who did I say last time? I said Monifa? Who did I say?
Yeah, Monifa. That'd be dope to get her on too, though. I ain't hating.
I said Mickey. I said like every other person other than Adina. So my bad, man. Go ahead, shout him out.
Yeah, man. Check me out every Tuesday and Thursday. Trying to tell you on Visa Radio. www.blogtalkradio.com/Visa Radio. Follow me on Twitter, Slizzy703. Instagram, Guy Slizzy on J. So I'm saying thank y'all for having me again. And let's get it, man. BMOC forever. Get it.
Show them love. I live, man. Any last words?
Yeah, Eminem's a GOAT. Wayne's a GOAT. We'll talk about that later on.
Oh, God. That couldn't have been the same sentence. There had to be a period in there somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's like but no, it's all good. But no, yeah, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at Rap Nerd League. BMOC forever, all that. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta have
Detroit what?
We gotta have a Wayne episode. But I feel like at some point in the near future, we gotta have a little Wayne episode, man.
I'm tired of the slander. Personally, I'm tired of the top 10 episodes.
Tight. I'm getting
top 10 episodes that I had one top 10.
I'm at a popcorn waiting for it. I swear I'm gonna have a popcorn waiting for it.
I'm tired of the Wayne slander. Like Wayne is a GOAT, man. Stop playing with me, man.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
I'm gonna have popcorn waiting for it. I swear.
Brittany, any last words? Shout out.
Oh God.
Okay. Eminem is definitely top 5. The Eminem Show is probably my favorite of his albums. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to be on the show. There was a lot of good points made tonight. Hopefully, I'm welcome back.
Of course.
Walter.
Absolutely.
Of course. Of course.
And I'm ready for the next debate, man. We got to keep this going. We got to keep hip hop alive. I feel like it's dying out. So keeping the discussions, talking about it, keeping it up. Keeping people up to date on what's going on in hip hop is important. So, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so
Great
much
show,
for coming on. And to her point too, for those out there, if you have Netflix, check out the Get Down, man.
Please check that out.
Just shortly, the Get Down is such a great show. The story, the writing, the story is great. The pacing is great. The actors are great. But the backstories of the origins of hip hop is phenomenal. Like, if you don't know anything about the origin of hip hop, or Grandmaster Flash and Kool Herc and African Bot, all this stuff, cool. Just watch this movie, and you'll get the appreciation. They're talking about from like bootlegging and like writing somebody's style, and what would happen if you bit somebody's style, and learning the technique of DJing and the art of rhyming and lyricism, and like the graffiti crew. It's just so much hip hop history. It'll make you appreciate the culture much more than just like this fad, this thing we use to get out the hood. It's really an art form. It's a part of music history. So please watch the Get Down, man, and you'll understand why some of us are just so passionate about the culture, which seems to be missing sometimes nowadays. Sometimes now, like, oh, let me just get out the hood. Let me write some rhymes together and do a song like Future. Let me just get popping and get this
bag.
Yeah, and it's like,
I'm a mumble rap. It sound like Lil Yachty.
Yeah, it's like the success. The success is a byproduct of the work. Like the success is like the result of showing love to the culture and being respected. And I feel like that's so missing nowadays. Not necessarily the skill. Well, sometimes the skill with some of y'all, but
throw some names out.
But the respect of it, and some of it came from my generation, because some people came up with like, hey, I'm not a rapper, I'm a hustler. And then once you start saying that, it's like, you're playing around.
Yeah.
So if you want to really understand just some of the foundation of it, watch the Get Down. And I promise you, your view on hip hop, if you didn't have appreciation for it before, you will definitely have appreciation for it after you check it out. So that's it. If you want to see more, subscribe. YouTube.com/BMOCTV. If you want to join the group, Facebook.com/group/BMOCTV. I'm BMOC. Thank you guys for joining us. Peace out. What's up?